Well, Ken, this should be exciting. We are here. This is the VIR SpeedTour SVRA Groups 5A, 7, 9, 11, and the Prototype Sprint Series Association. But I will say, one of the best race cars that I've ever heard is the car out front, Lewis Cooper Jr. in his Group 9 Boss Panos DP01 with that Judd V10 motor. It just screams out here, making some beautiful music, so it's so much fun to have him out here. So that's Lewis Cooper Jr. out front. Tom Gladys is second in a Radical SR10. Nicole Haverda, I thought it was Habarda, in a Ligier JSF3. She was just with us at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, a really good driver. We just heard from Landon Matriano Lim in that Ligier JSF3. Zach Mosley in a Revolution A1 500 SC. Paulie Gatto in the JDR F1000. Starting 7th is David Albin in a Radical SR10 XXR. Then we go to Scott Wagner in 8th in a Radical SR10. Kevin Jansen, also one of our FR drivers. He's a longtime FR driver, really good driver. He's going to be in a Ligier JSF3. Also did really well at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park with us just a few weeks ago. Wyatt Foster with Kaizen Motorsports is going to be out there in a Sebeco SPX, part of the PSSA group. Starting 11th is Timothy Pierce. 12th is Charles Livingston. 13th, Barrett Wolf. 14th, James Booth. 15th is Jason Slayer in a Citation F1000, another one of those great sounding cars. Benjamin Myers is here actually with his uncle Todd Treffert and his mom Dawn Myers in different groups in a Carbier CS2. Keke Hawanua in a Ligier F4. We've got Gary Gray. Hopefully he's out there. Gary Gray did give me a box of peanuts here, so I really appreciate that, Gary. Thanks for bringing. The commentators always love a gift, you know. And then we've got Andrew Heffring, who was just up here in a Radical SRX SR3 RSX. Then we've got Gobel Newsom in a Sebeco NP01. And then starting 21st, Victor Sieber. 22nd is Richard Duoker, I hope. 23rd is Sean Monet. 24th is Mark Calzaretta. 25th is Dimitri Nolan. 26th is Charles Habas Rudinger. Man, I'm really going to be struggling with these. In a Swift S2000. 27th is Michael Lang. 28th is Michael Pritchard in a Sebeco. 29th, Mark Hannafin. 30th is Kevin Whitman. Yuri Zalikman in a Sebeco is 31st. Harry Colson, 32nd. 33rd is Charles Duncan. 34th is Sterling Hamilton, and 35th, Charlie Locklear. And Ken, you can actually hear me hitting like a reading speed bump when I get to some of these drivers, you know, and I haven't really pre-read them, and some of these drivers have got some interesting names because we're at VIR. This is international racing here with the SVRA, Sports Car Vintage Racing Association. Look at how beautiful this place is as the Ginetta leads this field. Ken, this is going to be some exciting racing here.
Yeah, look at the sheer number of cars that are out here and a beautiful mix of everything. 4 different categories, one of them being the 5A class, Small Bore World Sports Car Championship and Prototypes. Is raced between 1960 and 1972. How cool is that? All 3 classes of Sports 2000 cars, SRFs as well as WSR cars. So that's just one of the 4 classes that's out here as well. Group 7 out here, World Championship of Makes on slicks under 2 liters. Sports cars is raced after 1972. In other words, Can-Am as raced after 1967. Center seat Can-Ams, SCCA, ASRs, and PSRs. So really, really cool mix of different cars out here.
Yeah, unbelievable. In fact, I'm hearing from race control that somebody from one of the teams has asked the pace to pick up the pace because the car is overheating, because these cars aren't meant to go this slow for this long. You know, they're just built right at that prime spot. As Lewis Cooper Jr. leads the field down, the Ginetta takes off. So he is the one that's kind of holding up the field here, is Lewis Cooper Jr. in that Judd V10. You can see he's doing something with his hand. He's moving off. Yeah, so he's going off telling them to go off. So I'm sure he's going to try to let the field pass and coast down into pit lane. That's not like Lewis Cooper Jr. to have problems like that. We'll see if they throw a green flag here. Maybe he's going to try to coast down the roller coaster into this Q3 section. Follow along there with 57 of Sean. Hopefully it's Monet or Monet in that Radical SR3. We'll see if they take the green. Not sure what's happening here, Ken, but I'm sure we're not going to let Lewis Cooper Jr. sit out in that part of the track without throwing a double yellow if he doesn't get powered.
Perfect formation coming to that green flag. They do throw the green flag. We're racing here with the PSSA, groups 5A, 7, 9, and 11. A bunch of race cars out here. A little lock up there going into the Mission Foods turn number 1.
That's Zach Mosley there behind that white Radical of Tom Gladys. And Lewis Cooper Jr., I'm hearing from our producers, is still running, but he's at the back. Not sure if he's going to come into pit lane or if he just wanted to work his way through the field. That might also be the case. You never know. But Zach Mosley in that Revolution. And then Nicole Haverda right there in that pink car, right in front of Landon Matriano Lim in those FR cars. Those are F3 spec cars with a Honda K20 turbocharged engine. So this is going to be fun. We've got some downforce cars here. We've got the Revolutions and the Radicals, a mixed group of race cars here, Ken, at VIR.
Yeah, it's some of these things, man. Words can't describe how sweet they sound when they go ripping by us here on the front straightaway into Mission Foods turn number 1. I mean, they are absolutely singing.
So there's Zach Mosley. There is the second car. He's the first car on screen. And then Landon Matriano Lim, and then Scott Warner in a PS1, and then Paulie Gatto in those 1,000cc motorcycle engines that just scream like you were saying. And then here comes Kevin Jansen there. Kevin Jansen, he always makes the joke. He's been racing with us in FR a long time, loves open wheel cars, but he is usually older than most of his competitors' parents. He always makes that joke, but just very fit, really competitive guy is Kevin Jansen. So it's really cool to see, but these little 1,000cc screamers here, that 99 of Paulie Gatto, you got to hear these things in person because they sound like they're just right at that bitter edge.
Hopefully they get some of that audio at home there on the stream. Love the roll bar up there, obviously to keep the driver protected. Newer technology.
Yeah, that halo, you know, to be honest, I was kind of against that at first, and then I saw what happened with Romain Grosjean, and I think the only reason he's still with us and racing IndyCar now is because of that halo. Now I absolutely love him. You know, it's sometimes I'm a knucklehead, and I'm from Missouri, so I'm the show me state. Show me why the halo is important, and they did, and I love it now. And Scott Goodyear does such a great job in the F4 and FR series with us. Great to have them out here. And there's our first Sebeco there. That should be Wyatt. And then this number 13 coming up, that's Barrett Wolf, another FR car. But these FR cars, that's basically the F3 car as the step up. And they're here just to run the race. They were with us at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park with Crosslink Kiwi. And now they're out here just getting ready for COTA. But they will be back next year at the VIR SpeedTour. And that's actually Charles Livingston there in that Sebeco. Not sure what happened to Wyatt. Oh, Wyatt Foster. That might be Wyatt Foster. There's a 33A and a 33. So I think that's Wyatt Foster there in that 33.
This is the race. If you like open wheel cars, or if you wanted to come out here and compete with us, this would be the group you're in if you loved open wheel cars. All open wheel cars on slicks from 70 to 2014, from early F2 cars to modern F1 cars, and everything in between. So it is a broad scope here. Formula 1, Indy Lights, Formula 5000, Formula 2, Formula Atlantic, Formula B, 1600s, Formula Super Vs. I mean, anything and everything. Formula Continental, Formula 3 as well, 1100 cc's. So this is where you would slot in. Part of why we have so many cars in this group.
And there goes Andrew Heffring there. We just saw him come through that Cube 3 section in that brightly colored Radical SR3 RSX.
Yeah, really knowledgeable guy. Just had him in the booth here during the Class 10 Enginetta race. Did a great job here in the booth. As father was competing in the genetic category, so great to see Andrew out there having a good run as well. Was scheduled to run a McLaren here, but I think they had clutch issues.
So I'm hearing that the 8-1 and the 8-9 possibly had some metal-to-metal rubbing out there.
Little shenanigans.
Not suggested in the open wheel classes. There's Andrew Heffring there in that Radical. Hopefully we don't give him the commentator's curse, but he does have so much knowledge, especially here at VIR, that's kind of Kaizen Motorsports' home track. Going up the hills into the chalets. You know, I've never been in one of those chalets, but what a great place to watch racing and then to stay here at the track. And then that's the number 35 right behind Andrew Heffring, I believe. Can't see that on my sheet. That's James Booth, Jim Booth.
Look at those Radicals, and there's a number of different combinations in those Radicals, but some of them are absolute rocket ships.
Yeah, and then I believe the person that started Radical left Radical and then started the Revolutions, which are the kind of more, to me, the Revolution cars look like they're 20 years in the future. Zach Mosley, for instance, running overall second place, is in one of the Revolution cars that the rear wing is kind of a reverse dihedral. They almost look like Batmobiles. And there goes the S2. Here it is, the 29A. That is Benjamin Myers.
Driving that thing too, man.
Yeah, he is a very good driver. His brother races an S2 with him, but right now his brother's in Germany in Oktoberfest. So hopefully he's having a good time there. But his, like I said, his uncle Todd Treffert was with us in IGT, and he's racing with us in SVRA. And then his mom, Dawn Myers, is racing in 911 with us in SVRA. So it is a family affair when they come out. And that's KK Hanua. I'm never going to get the name right. I'm so sorry. But hopefully, if you're Tour TV, you can phonetically spell our pronunciations that we get wrong, or if we get any of the information wrong, please feel free to yell at us in all caps. Let's start a little YouTube war here in the comment section. It's your chance to yell at the commentators, which is every motorsports fan, right, Ken?
Yeah. That's exactly right. We want to give everybody some love, but it's impossible for us to go chat with everybody that's on the property, so we don't mean to destroy their names. Some of them are pretty tricky, to say the least.
Victor Sieber there in a Group 9 F4 car. I like that American flag helmet as he goes up the hills here at the VIR SpeedTour.
Yeah, and you can see right behind him as well, an enclosed, looks like a P car. I went through the classes as we're looking at one of these here. That is the number 99, yeah. Beautiful hot rod there for sure. But in Group 11, that's where they fit in. GTP, Group C, ALMS, PSCR, WSC, Grand Am, prototypes, SCCA P1s and P2s as raced from 1981. So a number of examples would be Aston Martins, the AMR1s, the Intrepids, the Audi R8s, Ford Mustangs allowed in this one from Trans Am, Oldsmobile Aurora, the Pontiac Grand Am, Porsche GT2 and Cup. So again, a lot of variety, a lot of different options here that fall into Group 11 if you like the enclosed cars.
And you can see there that the Can-Am car, that is actually a modern Can-Am car built to look like the McLaren M8B, but a lot safer there. And then behind him was Lewis Cooper Jr. So I think maybe either he had an electrical problem that he fixed, that he kind of like Control Alt deleted on the computer system and went back out there, but now he's in the back with that Judd V10 power. We might see him work his way through the field. So there's that Can-Am car right there with Lewis Cooper Jr., but there's the 79. Let's see if I can find who that is. That's another S2 that's out there coming up right on that Radical, and that should be Gary Gray in the Radical. But look for Lewis Cooper Jr. to work his way through in that open wheel car. It sounds like my favorite era, the early 2000s to 2008s of the Formula One cars that just sounded so good before they went to the hybrids. It's got that V10 power base that just is a screamer. Oh, the Can-Am car.
That looked pretty sketchy. He did force him down in the grass, but he got the pass made, and no harm, no foul.
I hope. That's called a New Art Can-Am, Group 7 of Mark Hannafin, I believe with Concierge Motorsports out of Dallas, Texas. Lewis Cooper Jr. just absolutely screaming that Panos DP01 with that Judd V10. That's Dimitri Nolan in that Ligier F4. And Dimitri, that was quite a moment there with that Can-Am car. So way to hold it together, because you don't want to come side by side in an open wheel car like that. In the Can-Am car, he does have some visibility issues, like they did back in the day.
Yeah, no question. He cannot turn his head and know that somebody's there, and no spotters back there would be my presumption. Once in a while, maybe they put somebody over there in turn 5, but I doubt if anybody was back there where that pass took place. Look at this battle right here, man. Sucking up on the back on that rear wing, man, trying to get some aero on it. Takes a look to the inside, but running out of track here pretty quickly.
The Sebecos, they are set up very similarly in the PSSA class. I'm loving watching these Sebecos come out. We had a big variety of them at Road America, and it was kind of a big class in the NASA series. And then all of a sudden, it seemed like, I don't know what happened. I don't know the politics of it, or if even anything did happen, but they didn't have a place to run anymore. And Rob from SVRA, our chief of tech, he said, hey, come and run those things in PSSA with us. That's kind of what we like to do. We like to say, hey, if you have a race car and if it fits the criteria of safe and a race car, we're going to find a way to fit you in on one of these SVRA weekends. And now this class is really growing as the Prototype Sprint Series Association. I think this is our second year of the championship with Hankook Tires, a great partnership, and we allow the Revolutions, the Radicals, the LMP3 cars, and the Sebecos. And it looks like, for a while, it looked like we were going to have a lot of Revolutions. Then it looked like we were going to have a lot of Radicals, but now I think the Sebecos are kind of taking over, as there is, doesn't that look like a McLaren like M8F, the later McLarens, if it was that McLaren orange. But that is a new car built to look like the McLarens. But if you know anything about Can-Ams, back in the day, Can-Ams were just put the biggest engine in the lightest car, and what could happen, you know? So this is built a little bit more stoutly, which is why they had to kind of do away with that Can-Am class. So he's kind of bringing them back. And then there is the Ford GT40 there, the Mad Croc. Love this car. That is Michael Lang.
Spectacular looking.
Yeah, really cool car.
Huge under tray, rear diffuser on that one, looking for a lot of downforce, both top and bottom of the car. They're going to go 3 wide back there. Chose not to go 3 wide, probably a good decision, but wants to get through there.
That white Radical is moving.
Driving away from everybody, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out
who that is.
I can't see who that is, but
yeah, we never saw a number. So a slow mover up there too, just ahead of him right now. That's a situation where you'd want a spotter.
That is our leader that we watch in that white Radical. That's Tom Gladys in that Radical SR10 PS1. And so he's moving his way through the field. And then there is one of those 1,000cc motorcycle engines. Thanks for missing my sign there on the left. I appreciate that. Don't have to fix that tonight.
It looked to me like it might have been one of those Ford GT40s that was way off pace there in the back as well. Hopefully can roll down into the pits.
So that's Charles Livingston there in that JDR 002, I believe. The black car.
Yeah, Gladys out there ripping for sure. And around here, a 149 flat. That's 1 full second quicker than what we saw the TA2 cars a little bit earlier, just to put things in perspective. So for sure a car that can get around here.
And there goes Nicole Haverda and Landon Matriano Lim, 2 teammates. They've been racing together all season long. Landon Matriano Lim got the better of Nicole somewhere on the track, but she is right behind him. And really, they're very smart. The Crosslink Kiwi team, they know that we're going to be back here next year, so they're here just getting some data. They were also with us at Laguna Seca this year. So when they have some time off between the races, they want their drivers to come here because it is a development series. these drivers are wanting to do the ladder up into F1 or into IndyCar, as we've had Kyle Kirkwood come through this ladder system of F4 to FR, and that's exactly what they're doing, is just getting seat time. And really, there's nothing more valuable than seat time at different tracks.
By the way, it was that Mad Croc car that was off the pace. It's down here on pit road as we speak right now, so very disappointing there in that gorgeous car.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. As we see here high above the roller coaster section, absolutely beautiful weather. You know, this area has been hit hard by storms, as we knew Helene came through just a couple of weeks ago. Didn't hit this area as bad as it did Asheville, but they had about a week of rain here, so now they deserve about 2 weeks of sunshine, and they are getting that here at VIR.
Perfect race weekend, perfect weather.
We never know what we're going to get at this weekend. There's been times where I put water bags in these signs that you see here at Turn 1 with Mission Foods on them, and one time I came by in the morning to check them, and they had frozen solid at the same weekend. And then sometimes it's super hot, and it's pretty hot here this weekend. There's that Sebeco of 456 of Harry Colson, Sebeco NP01. Haven't seen Zach Mosley. I don't know if he must have come. No, he's in fourth. So Nicole and Landon Matriano-Lim have overtaken Zach Mosley in that revolution. I believe our points leader in PSSA currently is Zach Mosley.
Great overhead shot there from the drone.
46 of Kevin Whitman in a Swift DB2.
Yeah, and the 13 right there as well, Barrett Wolf.
Those S2000s shouldn't be holding up with these. They must be some really talented drivers in these S2000s, because they have very little downforce, Ford Pinto engines, 2-liter engines. But usually the S2000 drivers are very skilled, talented drivers, so they're holding their own out there. Oh, thank you so much. 456, Harry Colson, my hero. I love when our drivers have the big day glow gloves that you can see what their hands are doing, especially around there, the oak tree, because the oak tree turn, some people take 2 apexes, and some people try to just one corner, one roll of the wheel, and there's all different kinds of approaches to take that. A lot of people try to diamond the oak tree, and you'll see their hands doing all kinds of different left to right movements. So when they wear the gloves, we can really see how hard they're working out there. So KK is currently leading the points in JSF 4 class with 1 round remaining at COTA. So that's Moke 1 Kenobi is saying that. So thank you so much, Moke 1 Kenobi. And his last name is pronounced Hawaneo. Hawaneo. Okay, so thank you. KK Hawaneo. I'm going to try to do that better. And there's the 7-Up car. I love that car there in the Sebeco. So see, we've got some knowledgeable people in the comment section, and I have learned a lot from the comment section. So yes, it is constructive criticism, but we absolutely love that here. So tell us what you know and tell us what we don't know. Now, Jonathan is usually in the booth with me here. He's a little bit thinner skinned. When I say that, he's always like, oh, please don't open up that can of worms. But I am fine with it, you know.
I give him a lot
this
of
is
material
supposed to be
with.
have fun, and yeah, we have to know 100 years of motorsports and a bunch of different series up here in SVRA, so we can't know it all. And this is a group that I'm definitely the weakest in with my knowledge. Now this is a Rive Drive Motorsports. These 1,000cc engines that Nathan Bird was running with us last year. Just very, very light, high revving cars. Dustin Hodges' team, they are just real screamers.
Made his way right up through the S's, made it look easy.
And there's Lewis Cooper Jr. coming up behind the Sebecos.
You think, you know, when you hear 1,000cc, you think, oh, it'd be easy to run here flat out. But when you make them real lightweight and you put a small tire on them, I mean, they're very nimble, don't get me wrong, but you still drive those, or they drive those cars right on the edge.
Yeah. That's Sterling Hamilton there in the Sebeco NP01. And I think Charlie Locklear right behind him. So I like having all these Sebecos out there. And so you can see there on our top left the groups and the orders that they're in. And we've got an 8-second lead with Gladys, Tom Gladys, in that Radical SR10. Not backing down at all. You can see our full paddock. We've had a lot of spectators out here at the VIR SpeedTour. We've had the Haggerty Cars and Caffeine Car Show with about 120 cars, plus the Optima Search for the Ultimate Street Car. But there is our leader, Tom Gladys, Radical SR10, and I believe he's coming around to take the white flag here at the VIR SpeedTour.
Clock ticking down here in this 30-minute contest.
There's Heffring coming around there, South Bend.
They're getting sorted out here. Took another move right here.
Yeah, Nicole.
Got a nice run.
Come on, Nicole. Now, I will say this. I was out there setting up those signs you see on the side of the track. And
lap traffic.
Pick. There's a pick right there. Pick and roll. But she was doing a track walk. And I didn't see Landon Matriano Lim out there doing a track walk. So she might have some more information. So here you go, Ken. Here comes the white flag for our leader.
Just listening to that car, it almost sounds like it might have a turbo on it. That thing is a rocket ship for sure. We saw it sailing down the back straightaway, passing everybody else. Wonderful job there out of the 24 car of Kevin Jansen.
The American flag winglets there of Tom Gladys. The white flag is out. And yeah, I do believe the Radical SR10 is the kind of top end of the Radicals, and I do believe that has a turbo. But I'm sure our comment section can tell us exactly what it has in it. This is a great shot here coming up the S's. It's going to get really light right here, right next to the camera. Almost zero gravity. And a lot of these cars, including our TA cars that will be out tomorrow, can go flat out through there if they hit it just right. And they actually use the curbing to help rotate them. They don't turn the wheel as much as they just try to hit the curbing in a way that will manipulate the car. So you can get into a rhythm through those, through the uphill S's here at VIR.
Yeah, my apologies. There's a couple of 24s inside of this group. It's 24A. And
yeah.
Gladys has been ripping for sure. Tom is on the pipe.
Going down into that roller coaster section through the Cube 3 section. But this was our Group 5A, 7, 9, 11. Ken Stout, take us to the checkered flag with Tom Gladys.
Coming around here through the final turn. Cube 3, turn 17. Now we'll look to take that checkered flag, and it is waving for him. Congratulations to Tom Gladys, the first one across the stripe here. Awesome.
That was a great race because he had to navigate through a lot of lap traffic at some not ideal times.
Yeah, and at speed. I mean, that car rips.
Nicole got the better of Landon Matriano Lim there in our FR, and then Kevin Jansen comes in fourth, followed by Barrett Wolf, Paulie Gatto, and I believe Scott Wagner. So unbelievable there, top 7. And what a great race here at the VIR SpeedTour. Mixed class racing, but good clean racing, Ken.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Everybody's super respectful out here. They know there's a lot to, it's called multi-class racing. And whenever you do that, you really have to have your patience on. Pay attention to the other drivers around you who knows what's going on. Different classes, different speeds.
Now, what's Nicole doing? She's just wanting to get in. These FR cars, they do have to run a certain temperature. And sometimes I'll go down and interview the drivers, and they've got these blowers just blowing into the radiator, so you can never know. Beautiful images here from Greenlight TV. Thank you guys so much for coming out. And it's my dream. Sometime, Connie Nyholm, if you're listening, Kerrigan Smith, I need to rent one of those chalets from you guys because that just looks like too much fun.
Ooh. One out there in the grass. Drivers out. Yeah, how cool would that be to wake up in the first thing in the morning to race cars driving around? That's awesome. Here's some highlights from this race here. 5A, 7, 9, and 11 in PSSA. And Tom Gladys right there in the front. Made good use of that front row start.
I'm getting caught up in the images, but there's Myers there going around the 29A with the 29B. Like we were saying, too many cars out there and too many different numbers. There's Andrew Heffring in that Radical, Lewis Cooper Jr. There's the Can-Am car, but Tom Gladys was the class of the field. But I do like all these Sebecos out there, kind of that more spec series of racing. And then I really appreciate him missing my Bennett sign, so we don't have to clean that up tonight. Yeah.
Out there potato picking. We'll have to do a little bit of cleanup there on that one tonight to get ready for tomorrow.
And, you know, the funny thing is I'll go out there and shoot photographs, and a lot of the corner workers have planted watermelon, and there's watermelon growing because I've tripped on some watermelon along the track fence, which is really funny.
That is great. So some safety trucks are going to go out there and help some racers that are in need. They'll clean up the track and get ready for our next race. In the meantime, we're going to take a quick break here. Stay with us. We'll be back with more racing action here, courtesy of the VIR SpeedTour.